Hello, my name's Barry Morton and welcome to the first of what I hope will be a series of short films showing the construction and operation of my N-gauge model railway layout called Bromsgrove. N-gauge being 1 to 148 British outline. Unfortunately in this part though we're not going to see much constructing or much operating, but I wanted to show the layout right from the beginning, and so here we are and where the layout's going to live. And at the moment this is the garage, but very shortly it's going to be converted into what we're going to call either the study or the hobby room. It's really going to be a railway room, but don't tell the wife that. And hopefully work should start this week. Today's Saturday the 16th of November 2013, so this next week should start the conversion. We're going to have a stud wall at the far end there, which means all the junk that you can see there will be in a place that hopefully will be the storage compartment. So there'll be a stud wall built roughly where that chalk mark is on the wall, and that'll run right across there, so there'll be a blank wall there really hiding the door. The railway itself will then run down that far wall along here, down the far wall, and then back along the front here. You can see some more chalk marks on the wall there. That's where the window is going to be at the front there, and the railway will run along right into that corner. So hopefully that's going to give me roughly 12 feet long by 8 feet wide, and that's what hopefully the builder's going to give me. Might be a bit of a push for length, but he says he should be able to do it. So let's go and have a look at the details of the layout plan itself. Okay then, this is the layout plan for my N-gauge layout Bromsgrove. We can see hopefully it's going to be 12 foot long and 8 feet wide. Covering really, I'm going to divide it into, I think at this stage, 4 power districts, but 4 main areas of the layout. That is this part here, which is the Bromsgrove South Junction, and we've got Bromsgrove Station here, Blackwell Station via the famous Lickey Incline, and then running back down into a 7 road fiddle yard, 7 road fiddle yard I should say, and then back through some hidden tunnels back to Bromsgrove South. Now the layout plans, the original prototype plans I got from the National Railway Museum at York. So the actual layout is pretty much how it was, but I've had to adjust some things due to the confinement of space. For instance, the distance really, or the scale distance between Bromsgrove South and Bromsgrove Station would be 18 feet, and I haven't got that sort of room to play with, so I've had to squash things down slightly, if you like. But most of the important features are still there. We've got a coaling stage here which existed on the prototype. Also this area here is where of course the famous Lickey Bank has gathered at the coaling stage, and in this area mainly 9400 class pannier tanks, a 9F and some 3F Ginties also used to be involved in the banking. And then as we said before, through Bromsgrove Station and then up the Lickey Incline. Now the Lickey Incline, most of you know, is the famous 1 in 37.5 roughly speaking incline, and it goes for 2 miles if my memory serves me right. So we've had to adapt that here of course. I'm not too sure at the moment how the curves are going to work. I've got these curves over here are nothing less than 12-inch radius on the inner curve. This one inner curve is 15 inches. That's a 12-inch radius, so I'm hoping everything's going to go okay, but we're just going to have to moot that as we go along, but hopefully everything will be okay. Now the incline itself is just under 3%, which given the length should be fine. I am going to use something called Power Base, which is a new innovation being released by DCC Concepts, which helps tremendously with not only the length of train but also in the amount of weight etc that they can pull. You may have seen that. I think it's been sold at Gauge Masters in at the moment, and I think the M version gets released at the Whalley show next weekend, so that'll be interesting. Okay, I've just brought the layout a bit closer, and we can see now the four tracks running between Bromsgrove South and Bromsgrove Station itself. Running from the top there, we've got the down slow, the down fast, the up fast and the up goods, which then moves on to 3 tracks and eventually of course forming the 2. Now that is exactly as it was, so as I say, that's something that I managed to keep in. And at the other end, the 4 tracks used to leave Bromsgrove under a bridge at about this point here, went under a bridge and continued forming 3 and then eventually 2 down towards Stoke Works. Well, again, of course, due to space I can't do that, so we're going to have I'm going to have some tunnels or something here to hide those tight curves. And likewise, I think when we get to the other end, at this end, I think we're going to hide this bit here, and hopefully when it smooths out more to come out onto the Lickey incline up here, straightens out a bit, so that shouldn't be too bad. Blackwell Station, well, it's on a curve, yes. We'll have to see how that goes. That was a bit of a late addition really, Blackwell, when I felt that I needed, if I was going to show Bromsgrove, I needed in some way to show the incline. Now the layout itself will be completely DCC controlled, and hopefully computer controlled as well, with some software called Railroad & Co. Train Controller Gold, which looks quite complicated, but it's something I've been having a look at, and a lot of electronics involved, I think, but it should be possible. And so I hope to that end to have full banking capabilities in terms of the banking engines coming up behind the long expresses, etc., to help them up the Lickey incline. Of course, also we're going to have through expresses such as the Devonian Express, which made its way in its time from Bradford to Penzance, and also we're going to have some heavy freight running through, as is still the case today in terms of Bromsgrove Station. Bromsgrove Station is within this next year about to have a new station built, and still a famous part of that Gloucester to Birmingham line. Now, for anyone who's also familiar with Bromsgrove, be aware that in this area here where I'm pointing, there was an extensive wagon works. In fact, it had a famous traverser which used to run roughly in this area, and around the back of the workshops. I've chosen at this time not to show any of the wagon works. That's not to say that in the future that won't open the possibility up. The engine shed, 3-road engine shed, exactly, I hopefully positioned where it was in its time. I've had quite a bit of research, a lot of help from a Facebook group called the Lickey Incline and Bromsgrove MPD group, which have been really good, fantastic photographs to do some research from, of all the places I've just mentioned on this plan. Really good photographs. Other books that I've used, well, let's go and have a look at them. Okay, yeah, some of the books that I've used. First one then, the LMS Journal, number 19. Again, recommended to me from the Facebook page that I mentioned earlier, the Facebook group. The guys who actually used to work on this line. Excellent book. Here, I mentioned the wagon works earlier. Here's a very good layout plan of the wagon works as it was. We can see here in this area we've got Bromsgrove Station. Here's the 3-road engine shed that I mentioned, and this is all the wagon works that used to surround it. So you can see how extensive it really was. Running back, we've got the goods shed, which I've shown, and that runs back to Bromsgrove South Junction, which is shown in this inset here at the bottom left. I'm not sure if we can go up on that, perhaps we can. Here we go. and we can see the turntable, etc. So as I say, it's roughly how it was in its day. Other books that I've used, okay, apart from the LMS journal, we've got the Bromsgrove to Birmingham line, Midland Main Line book, and this little gem which I picked up off the that well-known auction site, eBay, at £5, the Railway History of Bromsgrove and the Lickey Incline Part 2, which has been compiled by someone called Robert Daines on behalf of the Bromsgrove Steam Enthusiasts Club. Covers the period 1949 to 1982, so I guess it was written in about 82, but anyway, basically it's just absolutely invaluable. It has been invaluable to me. What we've got here is a train spotter's diary, basically. For instance, Saturday the 1st of July, what went through the station. So not only, you know, telling me the locomotives that went through, what it was carrying, what the, you know, the length of the trains, etc., carriage makeup. It's fantastic, absolutely fantastic. £5. It's just, you know, absolutely brilliant. Okay, and the other one is British Railway Workshops. Well, I bought this primarily to get, someone told me there was a good aerial picture of Bromsgrove in it, which there is, in fairness, but it didn't really help on the track planning front. I think the best one in terms of track plans was the LMS journal one. Again, wasn't much, tenner, picked up off the internet, so and that's the best one.